If it's you and it's me, this is how it should be. Take me, take me, take me to Harlem. Take me, take me, take me to
It's a live radio Bristol session. Abigail Wasper and Bela Fleck. That was amazing.
Well, you cover your shins and you cover your hands.
Oh man, you
Walk
guys are up
on
close.
out
Up
into
close.
the low, low land. Feel
Say ahead
this
of time.
jade and it's past your chest. Sharpen up the old machete. They come from the ground like a sweet plantain, but it'll kill you like moonshine and cocaine. But I'd rather die in the open air than in a quiet belly down toe easy chair. So I'm dropping that sugar cane. I'm praying for some wind and rain, and hotter than a blue blaze, sweating through the damn day. Now St. Peter won't open no gates for me, 'cause Jesus Christ likes sugar in his iced tea.
It's over on the side.
I got a little girl named Adelaide. Now she's the
3 minutes, 3 minutes.
out in Clewiston at her cafe, make the county sweet as lemonade. I'd like to take her out to a picture show, but the Glades ain't got a single place to go. I'd like to make some time, or at least we talk. Get on my feet that make me stop, and I'm chopping that sugar cane. I'm praying for some wind and rain, and hotter than a blue blaze, sweating through the damn haze. St. Peter won't open no gates for me, 'cause Jesus Christ like sugar in his iced tea. Come on.
90 seconds. 90 seconds.
Now the Labor Day storm back in 25 killed 200 blacks and 90 some odd whites. They won't put headstones in the cane. They stacked us on trucks and drove us away. They put us in a hole out in the dark and then pulled back down without leaving a mark. We got to hell, the devil wasn't coy. He took one look at us and said, "Oh, I can do nothing to you, boys. Because you
1 minute. 1 minute.
I'm praying for some wind and rain, and hotter than a blue blaze, sweat through the damn haze. St. Peter won't open no gates for me, 'cause Jesus Christ likes sugar in his iced tea." Yes,
30 seconds. 30 seconds. Ten seconds.
Broadcasting from the birthplace of country music, this is WBCMLP Bristol.
In the blue hills of Virginia, where the tall pines kiss the sky, how my heart thrills in Virginia when the love shines in your eyes. In the evening you're a picture so fair, mellow moonbeams kissing your hair. In the blue hills of Virginia, I hope to win ya, sweetheart mine.
Radio Bristol presents Farm and Fun Time, made possible by Eastman Credit Union. Wherever life takes you, ECU is by your side.
In the evening you're a picture so fair, mellow moonbeams kissing your hair. In the blue hills of Virginia, I hope to win ya, sweetheart mine.
Thank you. Live from the McLaughlin Performance Theater at the Birthplace of Country Music Museum, I'm your host, Farm and Fun Timer Chris Trulson, along here with Bill and the Bells, to welcome you to another live broadcast of Farm and Fun Time. How is everybody? Good. We got a great crowd in here tonight. We're going to have a fantastic show. I'm really excited about this show tonight. I feel like it's going to harken back kind of to the original Farm and Fun Time in many different ways. As some of you folks might know, Farm and Fun Time has a great history here in Bristol and started in the mid-'40s on WCYB, launching the careers of many of the first-generation bluegrass bands like Mac Wiseman, Flatt and Scruggs, Jim and Jesse, the Stanley Brothers, and on and on. It's really an honor to continue this tradition. And of course, bluegrass has always been a big part of the Farm and Fun Time tradition. And we think tonight's show is going to fit right into that classic radio model. So without further ado, we're going to jump right on into it. The artists for tonight include Alabama bluegrass legend David Davis and the Warrior River Boys. That's some good stuff. And somebody who knows a thing or two about Farm and Fun Time, Mr. Ralph Stanley II, is here with the Clinch Mountain Boys. This month's Radio Bristol Farm Report will be heading over to Gate City, Virginia to check out Ziegenwald Dairy, and it's a dairy that specializes in goat cheese. We'll be talking a lot about goats this evening. Yeah. Our heirloom recipe segment with Sally Bowling, who's going to talk about the importance of skillets when it comes to cornbread. We're excited to have Sister Sally here as well. All right, and of course we've got the Farm and Fun Time house band, Bill and the Bells. We're going to jump into an old jazzy number. This is one called the Darktown Strutters Ball, and it goes like this.
1, 2, 3.
I've got some good news, honey, an invitation to the High Brown Ball. It's a very swell affair, all the High Browns will be there. I wear a high silk hat and a frock-tail coat. You wear your Paris gown and a new silk shawl. Ain't no doubt about it, babe, we'll be the best dressed in the hall. I'll be down to get you in a taxi, honey, you better be ready about 8:30. Now, dearie, don't be late, I wanna get there when the band starts playing. Remember when we get there, honey, two-step, yes, gonna have a ball. We're gonna dance right out of our shoes when you play those Jelly Roll blues. Tomorrow night at the Darktown Strutters Ball. Oh, yeah. We'll meet our high-toned neighbors, an expedition of the baby doll. Each one will do their best just to outclass all the rest. There'll be dancers from every foreign land, the classic buckwing and the wooden claw. Win that $50 prize when we get out and walk the dog. I'll be down to get you in a taxi, honey. You better be ready about 8:30. Now, dearie, don't be late. I wanna get there when the band starts playing. Remember when we get there, honey. Two-step, yes, gonna have the ball. We're gonna dance right out of our shoes when you play those Jelly Roll blues. Tomorrow night at the Dogtown Strutters Ball. Oh, Strutter. I'll be down to get you in a taxi, honey. You better be ready about 8:30. Now, dearie, don't be late. I wanna get there when the band starts playing. Remember when we get there, honey. Two-step, yes, gonna have a ball. We're gonna dance right out of our shoes when they play those Jelly Roll blues. Tomorrow night at the Dogtown Strutters Ball.
Thank you. Clea Yeagle there strutting her stuff on that fiddle. All right, we're gonna get you a brand new song. This is one we just cut a record. We're really excited about. It should be coming out in around July. We're looking at, and a lot of original material on it. And this is one of them. Kind of pays homage to one of our heroes, Jimmy Rogers. This is called "Good Gal, I'll Be Okay."
Gonna spread the news that yesterday's blues have almost gone away. As your memory it fades and there's nothing left to say. I was a fool ever trusting in you. You led my heart astray. And tomorrow's a brand new day. Good gal, I think I'll be okay. I'm so tired of sighing and the tears I've been crying, longing for the good old days. If you ask me how I'm doing since you left my heart in ruin, I guess I'm in an awful way. But with a little bit of luck, I'm gonna pick myself up, soon be on my way. And tomorrow's a brand new day. Good gal, I think I'll be okay. I'm so tired of sighing and the tears I've been crying, longing for the good old days. If you ask me how I'm doing since you left my heart in ruin, I guess I'm in an awful way. But with a little bit of luck, I'm gonna pick myself up, soon be on my way. And tomorrow's a brand new day. Good gal, I think I'll be okay. Yodelay, yodelay, yodelay.
Thank you so much. Good gal, I'll be okay. Now for a word from one of our tremendous sponsors, Eastman Credit Union.
Hi there, how you doing? Hope you don't mind us crooning about Eastman Credit Union. They're the reason that you're able to tune in. If you like all the things that we're doing, let them know how much you're improving. And say thank you, Eastman Credit Union.
Yes, tell them thanks for their support of Radio Bristol's Farm and Fun Time. And remember, ECU is there for you. From using your phone to transfer money, to making a deposit, signing loan documents from anywhere. For more information, visit ecu.org and join Farm and Fun Time in saying,
Thank you, Eastman Credit Union.
hey, thanks. Thank you, Eastman Credit Union. All right, now time for our first segment of the evening, the Farm and Fun Time Heirloom Recipe segment. Food is at the center of our culture and is so important in the Appalachian region. It represents much more than what we eat. Food represents family, memories, history, place, and more. And for tonight's presenter, we've got Sally Bowling, who lives in Lebanon, Virginia, spent most of her childhood in Pound, Virginia, where she learned the ins and outs of country cooking from her mother and granny, like her tried and true recipe for cornbread using her granny's iron skillet. Sally has been a long supporter of Bristol Rhythm and Roots for the last 15 years, where she coordinates MCs for the festival, but always makes sure to set aside a little bit of time to transport her favorite artists, like Marty Stewart, from stage to stage during the weekend. So folks, please give a big old Farm and Fun Time welcome to Sister Sally Bowling.
Thank you. I was about 10 years old when I first started making cornbread. I watched my mother and my grandmother, and we all had a little different take on it, but the one thing that we used then and I use now is Martha White self-rising cornmeal. And we got that from Lester Flatt, and Rhonda Vinson's still carrying on that jingle tradition today. The other thing you need to make good, crusty, crunchy cornbread is a cast iron skillet. And it's a little bit sweeter if that skillet has been passed down from a family member. And I baked my cornbread in a 10-inch cast iron skillet that belonged to my granny Bowling. From an early age, I would be in the kitchen with my granny watching her cook in that skillet. And she had several iron skillets, and she cooked just about everything in them, from T-bone steak to fried chicken, and of course cornbread. But she only used one skillet to make her cornbread in. And I suspect that skillet was handed down to her. I never did really know. You know, you're young, you don't question that. But I looked it up online, and it dates pre-1900. So this is my recipe. So the ingredients are, oh, I forgot to say this, sorry. Granny never used a measuring cup. And my mom would just pour a little bit of Martha White cornmeal in a bowl and buttermilk, stir it up till it was right, then put it in the hot sizzling skillet. And that's pretty much what I've always done, but for this recipe, I practiced on my measurement, and I think I have it down pat. So this is my recipe. 2 cups Martha White self-rising cornmeal, 2 cups buttermilk, you can use any kind, 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil, and 1 tablespoon of butter. And of course, a requirement is to have an iron skillet. So this is how I go about making mine. You preheat your oven to 450 degrees. You want to heat 1 tablespoon of your butter and your oil in your iron skillet. I do mine on top of the stove. You mix your 2 cups of your self-rising cornmeal and your buttermilk till it's about the consistency of pancake batter. And then you want to pour that into your hot sizzling skillet and bake it for approximately 25 minutes or until it's golden brown. You want to let the cornbread rest about 5 minutes. When you take it out of the oven, you'll run a knife around the edge of it. And if your skillet has been seasoned properly, your cornbread will pop right out of there. So, and the icing on the cake is butter. And you want country butter, and I So I should say the icing on the cornbread is butter. And I still enjoy cooking a big meal for my family and cousins, and when they come to visit me, they know they're going to get hot buttered cornbread made in Granny's skillet and all the other fixings that go with it. And I hope you'll try this recipe and spread the love with friends and family. But in closing, I would like to add a couple of things about cooking in an iron skillet. I grew up in a family that cooked almost everything in an iron skillet. And I remember the first time I went to someone's house for dinner and they had cornbread baked in a Pyrex dish. And it had butter in it, I mean sugar in it. And I did not even know you could make cornbread in anything but an iron skillet. So it did not taste like Granny's cornbread. And today, I use my Granny's skillet almost every day. I have several cast iron skillets, and I cook everything from delicious homemade pizza to biscuits to cornbread. And seasoned right, your iron skillet will top that copper skillet any day. And I plan on passing my Granny's skillet down to someone special. So thank you for listening to my recipe, and butter up that cornbread. Thank you.
Sally Bowling. Thank you, Sally. And we always have a second part of this segment for the Heirloom Recipe segment. We write a jingle about what you just heard, and tonight we're going to do a jingle about a skillet. A very special skillet. This tune here is called If It's Good Enough for Granny, It's Good Enough for Me, inspired by Sister Sally.
1, 2.
Ain't no skillet like Granny's skillet. Lord, a cornbread sure does kill it. It can bring the baddest man to tears. That old skillet's so good at cooking, it can make ugly seem good looking. That skillet is magical, I swear. If it's good enough for Granny, then it's good enough for me. I'd do anything for that skillet, Lord, I'd sail the 7 seas. Ain't no skillet like Granny's skillet. Lord, a cornbread sure does kill it. That skillet's going down in history.
Oh, that skillet.
If it's good enough for Granny, then it's good enough for me. I'd do anything for that skillet, Lord, I'd sail the 7 seas. Ain't no skillet like Granny's skillet. Lord, a cornbread sure does kill it. That skillet's going down in history.
If it's good enough for Granny, it's good enough for me. And now a word from Window World, Tri-Cities.
1, 2.
Baseballs, double hung sliders. Window World, they're your window provider. Their selection, it just keeps getting wider on baseballs, double hung and sliders.
Yes, for baseballs, double hung and sliders, it's Window World, where all products are custom built and American made. For free in-home consultation, windowworldtricities.com.
Baseballs, double hung sliders. Window World, they're your window provider. Their selection, it just keeps getting wider on baseballs, double hung and sliders.
Thank you, Window World Tri-Cities, for your support of Radio Bristol and Farm and Fun Time. All right, we're going to get into our first featured act of the evening, and they're coming all the way from Alabama, folks. We have a wonderful band with us here tonight. David Davis has performed as a frontman of the Warrior River Boys since 1984, merging the sounds of bluegrass and old time with a healthy dose of Monroe-style mandolin to create a sound that is altogether unique. The Warrior River Boys have a new record coming out June 1st. You really got to be on the lookout for this on Rounder called Didn't He Ramble, featuring a lot of songs from the old-time great Charlie Poole. I'm sure we're going to hear some of those tunes tonight. But right now, please make welcome David Davis and the Warrior River Boys, everybody.
Oh, the gold rush is over, so honey, bye-bye. Stake out your claim now on some other guy. I've lied you and died you till the money is gone. But the gold rush is over and the bum rush is on. Now when I had the money, honey, things were just fine. You spent my money like I wasn't mine. But now you mistreat me 'cause my money is gone. So go there, your mama, you just start moving on. You shovel out the sweet talk when the pay dirt is big. Now all you shovel out is just a dirty dig. So stop digging, honey, 'cause you're wasting your time. This old rabbit train is at the end of the line. You've been out prospecting all around on the side, but this old mule now has had his last ride. So start walking, woman, 'cause your grub's egg is gone. The gold rush is over and the bum rush is on. Well, thank you, friends. Thank you so much. All right. Friends, it's certainly a pleasure and honor to be with you and Radio Bristol here this evening at the birthplace of country music. I hope you'll enjoy our portion of the show. If the river was whiskey and I was a duck, I swim to the bottom and I never look up. Tell me how long have I got to wait? Can I get you now? Must I hesitate? If the river was whiskey and the branch was wine, you see me in bathing just any old time. Tell me how long have I got to wait? Can I get you now? Must I hesitate? I was born in England, raised in France. All the suit were clothes, but they wouldn't send the pants. Tell me how long have I got to wait? Can I get you now? Must I hesitate? I was born in Alabama, raised in Tennessee. If you don't like my peaches, don't shake 'em my tree. Tell me how long have I got to wait? Can I get you now? Must I hesitate? I looked down the road just as far as I could see. A man had a moment and the blues had me. Tell me how long have I got to wait? Can I get you now? Must I hesitate? I ain't no doctor, but the doctor's son. I'll do the doctor till the doctor comes. Tell me how long have I got to wait? Can I get you now? him welcome. That's Philip James right here. That's Philip James, friends. That's him right there. Take a bow, Philip. Good job. Good job. I believe you about sawed the hairs off of that bow, didn't he? Friends, we want to do a song right now written by the fella here to my left, Brother Stan Wildman. We've been playing together off and on for 30 years. He's from down in our neck of the woods in North Alabama. Town of Sneed, Alabama. One of my favorites, this is one of our favorite songs over the years, one that we recorded a few years ago and still get a lot of requests for it. Hope you folks in the live audience tonight, and of course we're always speaking to the folks in the radio audience. We hope you'll enjoy it. Stan Wildman, Donnie Hyatt, one entitled The Lonesome Cry of the Whippoorwill. On the lonesome cry of the whippoorwill, I had known when I lay down. The eyes bow with a windy chill and a lonesome sound of the whippoorwill. I hate to see that sun go down, and to see the moon just above the hill. That's when I hear the lonesome sound of the whippoorwill. At night I dream of that lonesome sound, the sound it does just how I feel. When I dream I hear the sound, the lonesome sound of the whippoorwill, the lonesome cry of the whippoorwill. Thank you, friends. Thank you. Friends, all I can tell you out in the radio audience is I wish you was here. We're having the blast of the year. But that's what we're supposed to have, these folks. And I know you in the listening audience appreciate good classic country music and bluegrass music. Just the real music. And that's right where we want to be every chance that we can get. And again, it's a pleasure to be with you. I want to thank Chris and all the folks here at Radio Bristol for giving us the opportunity to be here with you. Be here with a young fella here that the name's Stanley.
is very, very important. It's been very, very important to WCYB in the Bristol area. And he's carrying right on that great Stanley tradition. We're glad to be a part of that this evening, and I hope you'll enjoy our portion. I know you'll enjoy the Clinch Mountain Boys and Ralph, too, just a little bit later on in the set. Really appreciate your kindness. We just like an old milk cow on a cold, frosty morning. We like a warm hand and a kind word, too. Have you ever seen a musician that wasn't like that? We will show up about dinner time, too, if you don't watch your business. Friends, we have, as Chris was telling you, we have a brand new record out on Rounder Records. It's called Didn't He Ramble? Songs of Charlie Poole, our grandfather of bluegrass music. And we want to feature some music off of that, just a little bit, 3 or 4 songs here, and I hope that you'll enjoy it. We want to give you an opportunity to pre-order. The release date for handing them to you, from us to you, is June 1st, but our pre-sale campaign, our launch, has just started in the last week. We want to, if you'll pre-order one here this evening, I'll give you the information a little bit later on. Go to our website, daviddavisandwrb.com. Send me your address. We'll send you out a record. We'll give you something free here tonight, just as incentive, and I thank you for purchasing the new record. Let us feature a little bit of music off of it right now. Here's, I guess, a song here that's most identified with Charlie Poole, a recording artist from 1925 to 1930. As I said, our grandfather of bluegrass music, one entitled Didn't He Ramble? My mother raised 3 grown sons, Buster, Bell, and I. Buster was the black sheep of our little family. Father tried to break him of his rough and rowdy ways. Finally had to get the judge to give him 90 days. And did he ramble? Ramble. He rambled all around, in and out of town. And did he ramble? Ramble. He rambled till the butchers cut him down. The gamblers there showed him a trick that he had never seen. He lost his rolling jewelry and like to lost his life. He lost the car that carried him there and somebody stole his wife. He rambled, rambled, he rambled all around, in and out of town. And did he ramble, ramble, he rambled till the butchers cut him down. His appetite was stout. When he refused to pay the bill, the landlord kicked him out. He picked a brick to smack him with, and when he went to stop, the landlord kicked him over the fence right in a barrel of slop. And did he ramble, ramble, he rambled all around, in and out of town. And did he ramble, ramble, he rambled till the butchers cut him down. Trains go by, I think I see my dear judge, oh wait, Mr. Judge, wait a little while. I think I see my dear old girl. She's walked for miles and miles. Dear girl, have you brought me silver? Dear girl, have you brought me gold? Or have you lopped these long, long miles to see me hanged up on a hangman's pole? Dear boy, I brought you silver. Dear boy, I brought you gold. I have not walked these long, long miles to see you hanged up on a hangman's pole. She took me from the scaffold. She untied my hands. Tears rolled down that poor girl's cheeks. I love that highwayman. Well, thank you, friends. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you, friends. Thanks. Another one here. A lot of Charlie Poole's music, and like a lot of the artists from that early country music period, they was drawing songs from Appalachia and such as that. He was drawing a lot of his music from the popular music of the day, Tin Pan Alley, blues, and such as that, and putting string bands, banjos, guitars, fiddles, and such as that with it, really became popular. In 1925, 5,000 copies of a country record considered to be a very popular record. His first session was 2 songs, May I Sleep in Your Barn Tonight, Mister, and Don't Let Your Deal Go Down Blues. That sold 105,000 copies, 105,000 copies. In 1925, it got him continued on with a major label until 1930. And so a great career he had. He passed in 1931. This particular song here was originally written by the father of the blues, W.C. Handy, from down in Louisiana way. Charlie Poole called it
Dead airspace.
now, friends on radio land out in the radio audience, it's called a pregnant pause right there. And that's the old Dave getting his breath is what it actually amounts to. Getting a swallow of water. This is Charlie Poole's version of W.C. Handy's Beale Street Blues. We'll call it tonight the Ramblin' Blues. I hope you'll like it. 1, 2, 3. I've seen the life of old gay Broadway. Oh, Market Street down by the Frisco Bay. Saw the Prado. I've gambled on the Porsche and Paris, France. Now the 7 wonders of this world I have seen. There's many other different places I have been. Take my advice, folks, see Beale Street first. It's in Memphis, Tennessee. Oh, you knee-high, my brown, beautiful gowns, make tailor-mades and your hand-me-down. Meet honest men, has pickpocket skill, but the business never closes till somebody gets killed. Chitlin cafes, talk about your whiskey and your bygone days. Meet honest men, I've got it to spend. You'll find gold enough alone to pave the New Jerusalem. who never drank booze, and the blind man on the corner who sang the Memphis blues. I'd rather be here than any place I know. That's the truth. Rather be here than any place I know. For it's gonna take a sergeant for to make me go. Now you see the river, baby, by and by. See the river, Mississippi, tell you the reason why. Oh, the river is wet and Beale Street done gone dry, bone dry. Thank you, friends. Thank you. Friends, I hope you've enjoyed a little taste of that brand new Rounder record. It'll be released June 1st, but we'd love for you to pre-order here tonight. And you folks out listening via the radio, if you would go to our website, www.daviddavisandwrb.com. Let me send me your address, $20. That'll get you the CD, postage paid, and we'll send you a download card for a 2-CD, 50-song album that we're selling on our table here tonight, just as a thank you gift. And for you folks here in the live audience, it's the same thing. If you'd like to pre-order tonight, just give us your address. We'll give you the download card for the 50-song double CD, and we'll send you the album, postage paid, just as soon as we get them. And that'll probably be about a month. It'll be about a month before the record is released. But when it is, I certainly urge you to call in to Chris and the radio stations that plays this kind of music in your area and ask for some of the songs on it. We really believe in them. We believe in the concept of Charlie Poole, old-time music morphing into the music that we're playing here today. It's a wonderful music and hadn't been played that much in a bluegrass style. And we think you'll enjoy it, know that you will, feel that you will, and I hope you'll consider this particular album. Friends, let me introduce you to the fellas right now. To my left, I briefly mentioned him. Can't do that. He's been such an important part of our band over the last 30 years. Singer, songwriter, multi-talented musician, one of the best friends I've ever had. Stan Wildman is on guitar here this evening. Speaking of a long-time member, this fellow back here on the bass fiddle is from Salem, Illinois, the hometown of William Jennings Bryan. The GI Bill of Rights, Days of Our Lives, and Miracle Whip. Salem, Illinois' biggest claim to fame is this youngster's talent. A great, great singer. We've played together for 23 years. Marty Hayes back here on the bass fiddle. The fella here on the little fiddle is from Muldrow, Oklahoma. He makes his home in the northern part of Alabama, down in our neck of the woods. When he was 7 years old, he could play a mean fiddle. When he was 18 years old, he started traveling with us. He was as good as you'd ever want at 18 years old. He's about 35 or so now. Just that much better. One of the finest. That's Philip James on the little fiddle. Right there. A fellow that's been a part of our show for the last 10 or 11 years is my neighbor down in the northern part of the state of Alabama. In my travels in the last 34 years, I don't know that I've ever seen anybody as all around of entertainer, musician, singer, good business head. He's really got it all. I wish we had a little bit more time tonight, and he would pull a rabbit out of his hat for you. He can do all that stuff.
I just wish you had more time for you to talk about me, Dave. That's wonderful.
Well, let me say, you did win the award down there in Moulton, Alabama for the most humble man in Moulton, did you?
I did, Dave. I won the award. They awarded me the most humble man in Moulton, Alabama. They took it away from me because of the award.
Yeah. All the time.
Everywhere I went.
Even when you took a bath, didn't you? Let's see, I think that's Robert Montgomery. That's who that is. That's Robert right there.
Thank you, David. And the fellow's been doing all the talking here tonight. A member of the Alabama Bluegrass Music Hall of Fame, the National Old Time Country Music Hall of Fame, and the leader of the Warrior River Boys for the past 35 years. Give a nice round of applause from way down in Coleman, Alabama to David Davis, ladies and gentlemen.
Friends, you've made us feel at home this evening. We won't forget it no time soon. Bless your hearts. Stay tuned for Ralph Stanley II and the Clinch Mountain Boys carrying on a great Stanley Sound legacy. Hope you've enjoyed our sound. Hope you've enjoyed our effort half as much as we've enjoyed being with you. If you have, you've had a great time. We'll close with a song off of one of her earlier albums, one entitled Never Looking Back. I've done my share. Highways come easy, long should lead nowhere. Life is like a railroad. I guess I was tempted by the track. There's nowhere where I'm going. Never looking back. Very well. What I thought was a sweet breath of heaven turned into a living hell. Life is like a railroad. I guess I was tempted by the track. There's nowhere where I'm going. Never looking back. I'm a $1 million mansion, always in my dream. Cardboard covered shelter, way down in New Orleans. Life is like a railroad. I guess I was tempted by the track. There's nowhere where I'm going. Never looking back. Never looking back. Friends, we've enjoyed being with you, speaking for all the gang and yours truly. You've been a wonderful audience. We love you. Hope to see you again real soon. Thank you, Radio Bristol. Good night.
David Davis and the Warrior River Boys. The new record, Didn't He Ramble, going to be available soon. Go and check out David Davis and WRB.com for more information. We love these guys, getting a standing ovation. Wonderful, wonderful, deserved. Great music. And now, folks, it's time for the Radio Bristol Farm Report, made possible by HVAC and Ed Hill, full-service specialty contractor offering a full complement of building solutions for plumbing, heating, ventilation, building automation, geothermal, solar, wind, and more. For more information, visit hvacbristol.com. All right. The Farm Report profiles regional farmers strengthening our community through sustainable, eco-friendly practices, helping to positively impact our region's food access and health. Every month, we like to visit a regional farm and do a profile piece on that farm, and that's what we're fixing to do right now. This month, we visited Jack Woodworth at Ziegenwald Dairy in Gate City, Virginia. As I said before, they specialize in goat dairy. And it being spring, you wouldn't imagine how many little goats there were running around. It was one of the funnest farm visits we've ever had. We're going to jump into this video, so take it away, Josh, the Farm Report. right, we're gonna try to get to that after this here song. We've got a song that kind of fits into the theme of goats. It's called "He Went In Like a Lion But Came Out Like a Lamb." Bah. And it goes like this.
1, 2.
It's after 12, said Jones, and I must run home like a deer. My wife gets wild when 1 o'clock draws near. Then Brownie says, you haven't any spunk at all. You'd ought to be ashamed. Why don't you do like me? I've got mine tamed. Come on around the block with me, you timid little mouse, and I will try to show you how a man goes in his house. He went in like a lion, a wild raving lion, and when he got inside he slammed the door. He said, well, here I am, and I don't give a continental. Then he gave an awful roar. But a great big cup of mocha, it hit him on the cocoa, followed by some huckleberry jam. And as she gently pulled out all the whiskers from his chin, she whispered,
I'm a better man than you are, little Jim.
he went in like a lion, a wild raving lion. When she got through, he came out like a lamb. Bye. Brown came out, he said, old man, she sure did beat you up. Look out, old man, here comes another cup. Heads up. When I went in, she threw her arms around my neck, and then she pitched you out an awful wreck. Well, are you going to stand for that then, Brown? He answered, no. Just come along inside with me and stick around for the show. He went in like a lion, a wild raving lion. He heard a record playing Home Sweet Home. He said, I love that tune. She said,
You can have it, kid.
Then she threw that record off his dome. She chased him out like bubbles, packed up all of his troubles, long then failed an awful slam. She had him chasing rainbows as those records flew like rain. She says,
Goodbye, forever, wait until we meet again.
he went in like a lion, a wild raving lion. When she got through, he came out like a lamb. Bye. Bye.
There you go. I think that would have been a little more funny in context.
That will be.
Should we go? Are you good to go? Okay. We're gonna give it an old college try and see what happens.
I'm Jack Woodworth. The name of our farm is Possum's Bottom Farm, and we're in Gate City, Virginia. In March of '94, we went out. We were going to go look at some cashmere goats, and the girl called and canceled, so we had promised the kids to look at goats, and we went looked at dairy goats and said, well, that makes a little more sense. We can use the milk, and so that's what we did. We ended up buying 2 big does and milk, and then two little bucks about this size. And our first breeding, and that fall we had, one doe had 2 babies and the other one had 4. So our herd got big real quick. We were making cheese and stuff for ourselves, drinking the milk. My daughter made soap, and she made fudge and ice cream and so forth for a while. And then we decided at some point, you know, we ought to look into getting certified grade A so we can sell the cheese. And we started on that in 2008. I started building the dairy in 2001, and we finally had everything up and ready to go. In 2008, we got inspected and got our grade A certification, and we've been milking and making cheese ever since. Most of what we make are the soft cheeses called chèvres, and that's sold in 4-ounce or 8-ounce packages most of the time. We sell it directly to restaurants in larger containers. And then we do mozzarella, we do Colby, which is this one right here. We just started making Swiss last year in Monterey Jack, and we do feta. Our feta is a pretty good big seller as well. Well, like I said, we're in the Boone Street Market. We do have, I'm pretty sure she's got a web page. It's Ziegenwald. It's either Ziegenwald Dairy or just Ziegenwald. It's Ziegenwald. Ziegen is German for goats, and Wald is for woods. And our last name being Woodworth, we took the wood and we took the goats and we put them together. And with my wife being from Germany, we figured the German name was pretty good.
Farming, visit Appalachian Sustainable Development's website at asdevelop.org. A big thanks to Jack Woodworth at the Ziegenwald Dairy. You can learn more about his dairy on their Facebook page, as he said. And for listeners at home, make sure to go and check out WBCM Radio Bristol. We'll have that profile video up, probably about tomorrow. So go and visit that and check out those little baby goats. That was a really, really fun visit. We enjoyed it. All right, we are going to jump into our next featured act of the evening. We're coming full circle here on Farm and Fun Time, I feel like, tonight. Our guest's dad began his career on the original Farm and Fun Time back in the late 40s on WCYB. Went on to become one of the most celebrated legendary bluegrass musicians and American musicians as there is. Fast forward some 70 years later, and Ralph, too, has not only toured the world as a Clinch Mountain Boy, but also has gone on to build a celebrated solo career. With the latest release, Ralph, too, has adopted the name the Clinch Mountain Boys, following his dad's wishes, and continues to build upon that great Clinch Mountain tradition. Please, everybody, give a wild, wonderful round of applause to Ralph, too, and the Clinch Mountain Boys.
Brown, drink that liquor down, hey, the world don't mind. What will you do when you find there's no more room? Where will you run and hide? His name's Henry Brown, he's a drunk of the town, tells a bundle of lies. Anyone's a friend when the money they'll lend, drink till the day that he dies. Drink Henry Brown, drink that liquor down, hey, the world don't mind. What will you do when you find there's no more room? Where will you run? Get around! Henry Brown, when he bought all around, laughter filled the room. But now he stands alone, trying to stay strong, sorrow headed for his doom. Drink Henry Brown, drink that liquor down, hey, the world don't mind. What will you do when you find there's no more room? Where will you run? Henry Brown, drink that liquor down, hey, the world don't mind. What will you do when you find there's no more room? Where will you run and hide? All right. Thank you very much. I'll tell you, it's a real honor and a pleasure to
to be here on the Farm and Fun Time show here tonight. And as Chris told you there, that my dad and Uncle Carter started here way back in 1946. Right here, my dad was discharged from World War II in Germany, and as soon as I give him a hand for that, and all the veterans here tonight. And I think Dad said before he got home, he said he had a banjo for him, and they played somewhere before he even got to go home. But anyway, the rest is history there. They went on and became, well, in my opinion, I think they was the finest ever to play bluegrass and mountain music, but a lot of great ones have been. But anyway, speaking of that, and my Uncle Carter, Stanley, wrote a lot of great songs.
Why, sure he did, Ralph.
That's right. That's one of his biggest fans right there, too, by the way. And,
Yes, sir.
but anyway, one of them I think he wrote here, and they recorded it around 1947. It's called "The Angels Are Singing in Heaven Tonight." We'd like to try that for you right now. Sweetheart, I recall the day I first met you. I wonder if you remember the same. We talked of the love we shared for each other, and I long for the day we'd change your sweet name. Oh, I can still hear your voice in the evening. I see your sweet face, your blue eyes so bright. God's took you away and left me so lonely. The angels are singing in heaven tonight. Years passed away, we cherished each other. No worries or cares to darken our way. From our little home up in the Clinch Mountain, the Savior came down and called you one day. Oh, I can still hear your voice in the evening. I see your sweet face, your blue eyes so bright. God's took you away and left me so lonely. The angels are singing in heaven tonight. I'll always be true and love you, my darling, but I know you are happy and welcome up there. When God calls me home, I'll meet you in heaven. Sleep peacefully, darling, I'll meet you up there. Oh, I can still hear your voice in the evening. I see your sweet face, your Thank you very much. We appreciate that. That's, like I said, an original from years ago, and it's a high trio number. I actually think the Stanley brothers had a big hand in starting that out, too. Pee Wee Lambert sang the high baritone like this crazy guy right here was doing.
What's that, Ralph?
Just don't pay me no attention. I didn't say a word, did I?
I'm not pointing my finger.
All right. Well, speaking of point your finger, but getting back, my dad sang the low tenor, but that's the song we had a request for out in the lobby, too. And it's on my brand new CD. It's been out, well, it's almost a year now, about another month or so. But it's still pretty new, and we're working on a gospel album. It'll be out pretty soon, hopefully. But anyway, we was real proud that this song went #1 for us. I never dreamed that, but it's the second song I've ever had out to go #1. I was real proud of that, and as he said, it's called Don't Point Your Finger. So if you're ready, I'm ready.
Well, sure I am.
Let's get it, then.
Hope y'all are ready.
If a man has fallen and he's sorrow bound, let's don't condemn this brother that's down. You might see things different if you walked in his shoes. Help him carry his burden. Let him hear from you. Don't point your finger. Reach out your hand. Go a little bit farther to help your fellow man. Shine a light on his pathway. Help to make him stand. Don't point your finger. Reach out your hand. If he cries for solace with his back to the wall, let's do something good. Let's heed his call. Life can be so cruel with too much pain. Let's make some sunshine. Stop the pouring rain. Don't point your finger. Reach out your hand. Go a little bit farther to help your fellow man. Shine a light on his pathway. Help to make him stand. Don't point your finger. Reach out your hand. Don't point your finger. Reach out your hand. Go a little bit farther. Help your fellow man. Shine a light on his pathway. Help to make him stand. Don't point your finger. Reach out your hand. Thank you very much. Like I said, we have that on our new album, and I hope y'all enjoyed it today. I know you like it because you've loved it for a while, hadn't you? Don't point your finger. We're real proud of that song. Bill Castle from the state of Kentucky wrote that, and we arranged it and worked it up like that. Right now, real quick, we're going to introduce you to these Clinch Mountain boys, and I figured I better feature these boys because if I didn't, they might put something in my drink or anything out in the bus after a while. So I don't want to make them mad at me, so I'm going to introduce him real quick. And over here on the fiddle, he's been with me for a little over 9 years now, and does a great job. And yeah, give him a hand for that. That's a long time to stick around. He comes from the great state of Kentucky. Y'all get together and give John Rigsby a great big hand here this evening.
Yeah! Thank you, music lovers.
I'll tell you now. When you're hot, John.
Oh, that's right. Could you hear it?
Yeah.
All
Lord,
right. Thank
yeah.
you so much.
I could see the smoke flying off of that bow and fiddle, couldn't you? Good job on that, John. I forgot to add, he's one of the most talented guys I've ever traveled with, too, folks.
Oh, go ahead and brag
Give
on
him
me.
another hand there. He loves to get a hand.
Oh, brag on me.
Over here on the bass fiddle, he drives the bus for us, and he's a good bass player, and he's a good bluegrass festival promoter, and he does the bluegrass festival every March or so, every third weekend of March, I believe it is, at the Holiday Inn at Exit 7. And
He's a dandy now.
does a good job with that, and he's been with me for a little over 2 years, and so we're going to try to get him up here to sing you one real quick by request, and it's one called Bound to Ride. He comes from Hurley, Virginia. How about giving Randall Hivitz a great big hand, if you would, too?
Chip one. Little vocals.
There you go. All right.
Coming down from Tennessee, riding on a blind, studied by my little darling, cut feet and fine. Honey, babe, I'm bound to ride. Don't you want to go? Working on the railroad, saving all I can, looking for that woman that ain't got no man. Honey, babe, I'm bound to ride.
Don't you wanna go?
Riding on a streetcar, looking up at town, eating salted crackers, 10 cents a pound. Honey, babe, I'm bound to ride. Don't you wanna go? Well, if I die, rebel may burn me on the time, so I can see old number 4 as she goes rolling by. Honey, babe, I'm bound to ride. Don't you wanna go?
That's a good one, Randall.
Thank you, sir.
Good voice today.
Thank you, sir.
Hope you stay that way all weekend. We got 3 more shows. We're heading we're down into Georgia and into Florida, I believe, ain't we?
Yep.
Here the next few days. But anyway, real quick, back to the wild man or the wild child or whatever you want to call him. He keeps everybody on their toes, that's for sure.
That's right.
If somebody tries to go to sleep when they don't need to be, why, he gives us a big yell. And, buddy, they come out of there just a shiver. Shaking and a shiver.
You said it, Ralph.
That's right. But now he's been with me a little over 5 years now. This past November made him 5 years. And he told me then, he said, Ralph, he said, I tell you what, old buddy, he said, I'm going to stick with you through thick and thin, no matter what. And it looks like the longer he's sticking, the thinner he's beginning to get, don't it?
Yes.
But now he comes from the great state of Tennessee and a little town called La Follette. Some of y'all might have heard of that. And but anyway, he's a great singer, a great musician, got some CDs out, and I'll let him tell you what he's going to do. But y'all give Alex Leach a great big hand if you would, too, please.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you, friends and neighbors. I tell you, I'm feeling mighty good tonight. It's been good and just keeps getting better, don't it?
Yes, sir.
I tell you now, I'm like a tight pair of breeches. Ready to rip! I hope y'all are feeling good. We're mighty glad to be here, and it's great to be in Bristol. Here's a good old a cappella song I'd like to do. I've got this song recorded on one of my albums out there, and Dr. Ralph did this many years ago, and Dr. Ralph was actually the first to introduce a cappella singing to bluegrass back in about 1970. So we're going to do this one for you right now, and it's one called I'm Willing to Try. Hope y'all enjoy it here this evening. Ralph, if I can get an old-timey B flat there.
Yes, sir. You sure can, Alex.
And is that the Carter Stanley Memorial Blue Ridge guitar you're playing tonight?
Rosewood. Boy, it's pretty, yeah.
Sure is pretty. It's sounding good and sounds like it's got brand new strings on it.
It actually does this time.
Let's hear it one more time. Third time's the charm. I may not be able to sing like the heavenly angels. I may not be able to preach like Paul. I may not be able to walk on the water like Peter. But I'm willing to try. No, I may not be able to walk
like him.
I may not be able to talk
Like him.
I may not be able to preach like Paul. I may not be able to walk
Like him.
I may not be able to talk
Like him.
but I'm willing to try. I may not have the obedience of Abraham's sacrifice. I may not be able to stand so tall. I may not have the endurance of Moses in the wilderness, but I'm willing to try. No, I may not be able to walk
Like him.
I may not be able to talk
Like him.
I may not be able to preach like Paul. I may not be able to walk
Like him.
I may not be able to talk
Like him.
but I'm willing to
Try.
No, not be able to walk
like him.
I may not be able to talk
like him.
I may not be able to preach like
Paul.
I may not be able to walk
like him.
I may not be able to talk
like him.
but I'm willing to try. Thank you. Thank you folks so much. Hope y'all enjoyed that. I've always been a huge fan of the old time a cappella style of singing, and I know Dr. Ralph always included that in his show all throughout the years. But once again, I'd like to say it's a great honor to be here with y'all. We've got time for a couple of more songs, but real quick, before we do that, I'd just like to tell y'all out in the lobby there what all we have to offer you tonight. If anybody would like to come shake and howdy with us, of course, Ralph has got all of his albums out there. We've got the brand new Ralph II and the Clinch Mountain Boys album out there, and a lot of great brand new songs on it and some good old songs on it as well. And he also has some festival flyers. We've got the great big Dr. Ralph Stanley Memorial Bluegrass Festival coming up. I'm sure a lot of y'all might be familiar with that, aren't you? All right.
Yep, we
That's
are.
coming up. It's the 48th annual coming up, and Ralph II has taken it over now for about, this is your 5th year doing it?
Yeah, Dad asked me to take it over about 7 years.
7 years ago, that's right. And Ralph II has been carrying on the great tradition of it. So he's got some of the finest bands in the business booked up there. Get you a flyer and be sure to check that out. I believe we've got some Ralph II and the Clinch Mountain Boy posters out there. You've got T-shirts, and you've got all the fine albums out there as well. John has plenty of records. If you want any of them, head on down to the Pike County Courthouse in Kentucky, and they'll set you up with any of them you want. Anything to add to that? And also Ralph has a Stanley Brothers CD out there that's never been released before until just a few months ago. It's recorded live in the state of Pennsylvania in 1957. So y'all definitely check that out. It's got 20-something songs on it, I do believe, and some of the finest music, of course, coming from the Stanley Brothers. So be sure and check that out. And I've got that song that we just did, Willing to Try. It's on an album called Mountain Heartache, and anybody that wants any of my albums, tonight I'm doing buy 2 and get 1 free. So that's about pretty much all the Super Walmart that I can tell you about right now. So y'all come check it out, and right now y'all get together and make this gentleman welcome. He's been traveling all around the country, and many foreign countries too, for that matter, carrying on this great Stanley legacy that I don't believe anybody living today could do as he does. And I know y'all will agree with me, and we want you to get together and make him welcome. He's been Grammy nominated, and he's been carrying on the Clinch Mountain Boys now for the last 2 years. We're honored to be a part of it. Y'all make Ralph Stanley II welcome one time, all right?
Thank you, Alex. I'll get your check in the mail to you pretty quick for that good introduction.
I'm looking forward to that.
Had a request for a song I had out a few years ago. I've also got it. It's called Bluefield. Maybe some of y'all remember. We'll try that. In the West Virginia hills, there must be 10,000 stills, and they found the biggest one outside of Bluefield. A little peaceful country town, nothing else 4 miles around. I saw whiskey run like water down through Bluefield. My trouble started on that Tuesday afternoon. The sheriff told me federal men will be here soon. He said we come up with a plan to catch Bluefield's slickest man. And we will, as sure as I'm the sheriff of Bluefield. On a Wednesday I had 90 jars to cap. Didn't think they had the time to set a trap. In the brush I heard a sound, and I swiftly hit the ground. When I shot, I sent them running back to Bluefield. Not a soul suspected me. I was the sheriff's deputy. I make whiskey, but God knows I'd never kill. I didn't know he was that close when I let my shotgun go. But I found I killed my friend, the sheriff of Bluefield. I recall how Mama and my girlfriend cried when they left with me for, oh no, what a trial. It's my last night in this cell, the last story I will tell, as I sat on death row dreaming about Bluefield. Bluefield, Bluefield, oh Bluefield. Thank you very much, and thanks again for the requests over here, honey. And it's been real good to be here again. We got time for one more number. If y'all really enjoyed the Ralph II and the Clinch Mountain Boys part of the show, we certainly appreciate it. And as Alex said, don't forget about our festival. We'll be glad to sign you an autograph out here in the lobby and shaking howdy with you. And also, you can visit Ralph2.com and kind of keep up with us and join our fan club if you'd like, or things like that. So it's Ralph with a number 2.com. After we do a little Katie Daly, we'll get out of the way, and sure, I don't know, we might be the final act tonight. I'm not real sure, but I'm a little bit forgetful. I saw the layout, but a little bit forgetful nowadays, Randy. But we love you guys, and thanks for coming out and supporting us today, and thanks again to Farm and Fun Time. I'm so honored to be on this show because where my dad and Uncle Carter started years ago. It means a lot that they asked me to be here. Thank you very much, and appreciate you again. Katie Daly, John. With the romance that came from Tipperary in the pioneer days of 42. Her old man was shot in Tombstone City for the making of his good old Mountain Dew. Oh, come on down the mountain, Katie Daly. Come on down the mountain, Katie Dew. Can't you hear us calling Katie Daly? We want to drink your good old Mountain Dew. Wake up and pay attention, Katie Daly. I am the judge who's gonna sentence you. All the boys the court has drunk your liquor. Tell the truth, and drink a little too. Oh, come on down the mountain, Katie Daly. Come on down the mountain, Katie Dew. Can't you hear us calling Katie Daly? We wanna drink your good old mountain. So to the jail they took poor Katie Daly. Very soon the gates were open wide. Angels came to poor Katie Daly. Where'd they take her? Took her far across the great divide. Oh, come on down the mountain, Katie Daly. Come on down the mountain, Katie Dew. Can't you hear us calling Katie Daly? We want to drink your good old Mountain Dew. How about we pick her up a little bit, boys? What do you think? Oh, come on down the mountain, Katie Daly. Come on down the mountain, Katie Dew. Ain't you hear us calling Katie Daly? They want to drink your good old Mountain Dew.
Ralph Stanley II and the Clinch Mountain Boys, everybody. That's how it's done right there. That is the stuff. Go and check out their new record. As Ralph said, what a pleasure to have him here on Farm and Fun Time and all the Clinch Mountain boys. We've got one last word from a wonderful, generous sponsor, Friends of Southwest Virginia.
No matter time or season, there will always be a reason to see a different side of Virginia. We think that it's your duty to explore this place of beauty. Come and see a different side of Virginia.
This message is brought to you by Friends of Southwest Virginia, an organization committed to preserving, promoting, and presenting the cultural and natural assets of the 19 counties in our region. Visit myswva.org to discover a different side of Virginia.
If you needed one more reason to visit this here Siege and Farm and Fun Time broadcast from Southwest Virginia.
Thank you, Friends of Southwest Virginia. Did you all enjoy the show this evening? It was a good one. It was a good one. Well, a huge thanks to our Farm and Fun Time family for coming out every month and packing the Birthplace of Country Music Museum's Theater. We just have such a great time here, so we appreciate each and every one of you for making it out tonight, so thank you. Also, big thanks to Ralph II and the Clinch Mountain Boys, David Davis and the Warrior River Boys, Sally Bowling, Ziegenwald Dairy, ASD, HVAC and Ed Hill, ARCD, Window World Tri-Cities, Friends of Southwest Virginia, our engineer Josh Littleton up there. Everybody give him a round of applause. Our whole Radio Bristol team does a tremendous job putting this together, and we want to thank our in-studio audience and all those folks listening and watching on Facebook. We appreciate you. Of course, we've got another show coming up next month. It's going to be a whopper. We got Roy Bookbinder, who's just an amazing, amazing guitar player and performer, plus all-star band Traveler, featuring 3 wonderful songwriters, Johnny Fritz, Robert Ellis, and Corey Chisel. Tickets are going quick. It's almost sold out, so heads up on that. Don't forget to check out the extension program, the Farm and Fun Time Noon Show, with those ramblin' boys, made possible by Permatile Concrete Products. Of course, be kind to your fellow neighbor. Treat each other right. We appreciate you listening to Farm and Fun Time. We started out with a Virginia tune. We'll take you out with a Tennessee tune.
1, 2, 3. Take me back to Tennessee. Take me back to Tennessee. Take me back to Tennessee. There is where I long to be.
To hear more from Radio Bristol, download our app or visit us at listenradiobristol.org. I'm your host, Chris Trulson, along with Bill and the Bells. We thank you for tuning in to Radio Bristol's Farm and Fun Time. Thank you, everybody. Go and check out all the great artists. They'll be hanging out, so go and say hey to them. Check out some of the merch and all that. Appreciate you. Thanks again. We'll see you next month.